Part 3 from Cleveland, Ohio to Dallas, Texas. Y'all, how I got evicted 5 months later. I came here out of obedience and I got evicted 5 months later. But I'm still smiling because God is still God and he still reigns and he still sits high and he looks low. And he's still working it out for our good. So basically, if you've been following, you heard the intro, you heard part 1, you heard part 2. So at the end of part 2, I was saying that by Monday, we needed to make sure that we had the rest of the balance to be able to stay at the extended stay until November 9th. I was still praying and hoping and believing that God was going to, give us the provision. But if he did not, I just asked him daily. I asked him to give us our daily bread and lead us to where he wants us to be, for the next day, the next week, however long it is that he needs us to be there. So, some young ladies from here off of TikTok, I thank each and every person that has given a resource, that has given financially, that has given encouragement, that has given prayer. They gave me some information on some places, some shelters that I can go and check into. And I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I was kind of scared because I'm like, shelter, where I'm from, when you hear shelter, you thinking it's about to be bad. When we watch TV, when we see shelter, we thinking it's about to be bad. So I'm still, I'm like, I'm still a little nervous because I'm still human. I still got kids. So I'm like, oh God, you about to make us go into a shelter. Like, I don't understand this, but I understand this. So, I'm still just praying and hoping that, that we'll come up with the money. So, but I still had to do what, plan ahead, just in case we didn't come up with the money. So that Sunday night I got online and I end up, doing the pre-check-in part for the, to be able to get accepted into the shelter. So the young lady called me back from the shelter and she was like, you could come in on Monday, bring all your information and we'll go from there. Now, the people that had gave me the information, they said that this place will pay for your hotel for up to a month. So here I am. I'm like, okay, they gonna pay for our hotel stay for up to a month. So I go Monday morning, I get up, I take my kids to school and I head straight to, the shelter place so I can start the pre-check-in process, believing that I am going to get a hotel voucher for a month to, to cover the hotel for us to stay in the hotel for a month. So I go to the back after I do everything and I talk to the resource lady, and she basically lets me know that, they have to check with the shelter to see if there is a space for me and my children. And if there's a space, that we'll be able to go into the shelter. And if there is no space, that they will cover a hotel stay. So at this point, hey, y'all, I was there for a long time. So at this point, I still have to check out at the extended stay because I have not came up with the money. So I let her know, like, if I have to be out of here by 11 because I have to be back to check out by 12. So she's like, okay, well, it's going to take a while for us to find out if they have a space for you and your children. So I'll just call you to let you know what's next. So I leave and I go back to the extended stay. I pack up my room. I pack up the car, and then I leave, and I leave, and then I just go and I sit at the park, for a while, and I wait on her to call back. But as I'm waiting on her to call back, the day is going by, and it's about 3:00, and I'm like, okay, God, I still have to plan ahead because my kids are about to get out of school, and I have to make sure that we have somewhere to lay our heads tonight. So I go online and I start looking for rooms for us to stay in that kind of covers, that kind of, fits the bill of what we have from people just giving to us, like the money that we have. So I did find a place, but before I paid for the place, the lady ends up calling back. The resource lady ends up calling back, and she said, hey, they have room for you in the shelter. Y'all, I ain't even gonna lie. I literally thought that they was going to come through and just pay for the hotel, because once again, when you hear shelter, you think of all these bad things that happen in the shelter. You think of all these bad places and how, the staff treats people, and even sometimes how people treat people. So I'm kind of like a little nervous, but hey, I got to do what I got to do because God called me out here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And even if the shelter is the place that I'm supposed to go, there is still purpose in being placed in the shelter. So she's like, we have a room, they have a room available, but the room won't be available until Wednesday. So she's like, we're going to cover, a 2-night stay at the hotel for you until Wednesday. She's like, but it has to be a hotel of our choice. So of course, it's a hotel of their choice. So of course, the hotel that they have must be connected to the facility. So, the hotel was about 30 something minutes away. So that, I pick my kids up from school and we make our way to the, hotel, which was actually an extended stay. And I noticed that this is where people are literally living. Like, some people it's not even like a hotel, it's literally like a apartment building. But I was grateful. So, me and my kids, we go in, we clean. I make sure that I spray with home defense, because no matter where I go, I have to make sure that I spray and I make sure I clean. I make sure I spray, I make sure I clean. Me and the kids, we I pack their lunches for the next day, get their school clothes out, they take their shower. We say what we're grateful for, because even though we may not be where we want to be, we are exactly where God needs us to be, and God is still providing. God never said how he would provide. The only thing he promised is that he would provide. So we were grateful for a roof over our head for yet another 2 days. So, those 2 days went on, and then Wednesday came. So, of course, Wednesday morning, we really didn't take anything into the extended stay that we stayed in for the 2 days, because we knew that we were only there for 2 days. So Wednesday morning comes, I take my kids to school. I go on about my day. I come to the park, is what I've been doing lately. I read my word, I pray, I worship. And then I pick my kids up from school. That's just getting it to that part. Pick my kids up from school. We make our way to the shelter. We make our way to the shelter. No, I kind of skipped the part. I got to go back. Before I picked my kids up from school, I had to go and do my orientation at the shelter. So when I get to the shelter, y'all, the shelter is not the type of shelter that we think it is. Me and my kids, literally, like the administrator, she walks us around. She gives us a welcome basket. The welcome basket has all the hygiene stuff in it. It has food in it for us. She tells us how we literally don't have to pay for hygiene stuff, how we don't have to pay for cleaning supplies, how we just put an order in on every Thursday and we're able to get those things for free. She lets us know that, that there's pantries if you actually need food. She gives us food. She lets us know that we can wash there for free. We can drive there for free. There's a computer room there. There's a playground room there. There's a daycare there. And guess what, y'all? We literally got our own suite. It has a kitchen in it. It has a little stove top in it. It has a refrigerator in it. We have a bathroom. It has a microwave. It has a dishwasher. My kids have bunk beds and I have a king size bed. And I'm just like, God, even in the midst of all of this, like, you are still good. We are in a shelter and it literally feels like we are in our own apartment. So it gave me a sense of relief. But then what God revealed to me is, hey, I don't need you to just be here focusing on you. I brought you here on an assignment. Yes, you are here to tear down some things that you are going through, but you are still here on an assignment. You are still here to do ministry. You are still here to do work. So after that, I left and I was able to leave and go, and then I went to pick my kids up from school. So once I picked my kids up from school, we made our way. We went back. We went to get something to eat, and then we went and my kids were able to see where we stayed. When my kids walked in, the first thing they said is they was like, Mommy, like, this is not bad. This is not bad. It is not what we thought it was. So here it is. And this is what I had to realize. Once I changed my perspective, and once you change your perspective, and once we change our perspective, we will understand that things are not as bad as they seem. Like, even in the midst of the storm, God is still covering us. God is still protecting us. Like, y'all, me and my babies, we are at peace. We have joy. We've been playing board games. We've been spending more time together. We've been doing more things that honestly we were not doing in this big old house that we had. Like, God knew exactly what he was doing. God knows exactly what he's doing. And then, like, after that, this Sunday, y'all, we went to church. We actually went to the Potter's House, Dallas, because I haven't really even been to church out here. I went to visit Potter's House, Dallas, maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, and I visited a couple of other churches, but we were able to go to church. God has literally been using what the enemy meant for bad, and he's working it for my good. I am out here. I am getting closer to God. I am understanding the reason that he brought me here. Yes, a lot of people telling me that I should come home, but what am I coming back home to? Well, yes, I could turn back, but why would I turn back when I can stay here and see what's on the other side? Y'all, I need y'all to stay tuned for part 4. Because I'm going to keep y'all on this journey, because God revealed something to me the other day when I was sitting at the park of what it is I'm supposed to be doing in that shelter. What it is that I am supposed to be doing, because I am not there just to be a sitting duck. I am not there just to wait on housing. I am there because he has assigned me to some women, to some people, to some men, to some children. And I have to do what it is that I am assigned to do, because that is the only way that we come out of the wilderness. Prayer is not the only way that brings us out of the wilderness. You have to be obedient to God's word, and then prayer fear follows, and then you come out of the wilderness. The wilderness is a prep for the promise. So I need y'all to stay tuned for part 4 of how God brought me from Cleveland, Ohio to Dallas, Texas, and allowed me to be evicted. I thought this thing was happening to me, but God said this thing is happening for you. And I am grateful. I have joy, I have peace, and I have rest.